What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 166 of Park to Prem here with Town Lord Town. Today we have another live comp doubleheader kicking things off with the second leg against Bayern Munich of the first knockout round of the Champions League. We are not in a great position going into this game. I'm a little nervous for it as well. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tall order, you would imagine, against a Bayern team who, going into the game, are the favourites in their league campaign. How are they getting on? Let's size up our opposition, shall we? They are second in the Bundesliga. They've won it the previous 2 years. Right now, they're 2 points behind Dortmund, and they've played a game more. So, I don't know. I feel like they're going to have a point to prove here, perhaps. But a ferocious team, this team. You can see Horbrich Gerstner is their key player. He, of course, finished runner-up to Frost in the Ballon d'Or. It's the battle of the Germans up front in this game. And, well, they're a team that in the last 2 Champions Leagues we've managed to get by. They're going to be hoping it's third time lucky for them. I'm going to be hoping it's third time in a row for us. The third time, I don't know. It's a magic number, isn't it, 3? We want the 3 wins against them. That's the aim. Anyway, last episode was the EFL Cup final, as well as that first leg. And, well, since then, we've played 2 teams in the relegation zone. So you'd expect us to do well. And, well, one man did very, very well. Shvetsov. He is on fire. In this first game against Brentford, rotated the team a little bit. Frost out for Cancina, trying to give him a little bit more game time. But it was the Andrei Shvetsov show in this game. His first goal from a long throw into the box. The second one, a nice little header. And, well, his third one, just another little goal from a set piece. He's in impeccable form. And we questioned last episode, you know, would he be able to surpass his goal-scoring tally of a few years ago? He's just got 4 goals in the last 2 games. He is just scoring for fun right now. In this game, he was superb. And similarly, against Wolverhampton Wanderers, we won 1-0. It was a Shvetsov goal from the penalty spot that saw us through. And, well, 2 wins, 2 clean sheets. You couldn't really ask for much more than that. In terms of how the league is looking now, Man City falling way off the pace with just 7 games left of the year. We are 4 points ahead of Manchester United. And, of course, Manchester United, the team we are going to be taking on in the second game of today's episode. It is a few games away, so we've got to look forward to that one. But it is going to be a big game for us. It is on the 2nd of April, and without getting too carried away, you would say if we were to win that, assuming we don't slip up in the game that we got in between against Bournemouth, that should be the title wrapped up, barring us absolutely capitulating. So anyway, with all that in mind, the Champions League is still very much a focus of my attention this year, and we're going to be hoping that we are at our best for it. In terms of the team selection for today's game, we've had a few more injuries creep in. Holman, of course, out with a long-term hip injury. He's been injured for about the last 2 or 3 months now. Still not fit enough to start, you know, couldn't risk him. Aurelio has also now got injured for 2 to 5 weeks, and Soretta just this week injured for 7 days to 3 weeks. He was suspended for this game anyway, but yeah, some key injuries in some key areas. As a result, Kevin Deacon gonna get the nod at right back, a chance for him to make a name for himself. And while at centre back, there's only one man for the job. It's going to be Cesar. I talked last episode about the fact he was in the Media Dream 11 in the Premier League. He's continuing to improve, the 20-year-old. He looks absolutely insane. And, well, before I forget, let's just have a quick peek, shall we, at the Media Dream 11. Here it is in all its glory. You've got Cesar at centre-back, Kaiser and Cancina in the midfield, Shvetsov and Frost up front. Yeah, we're doing quite well on the list. And you can see here, Frost and Shvetsov considered the 2 big players of the Premier League. And, well, for Frost, you know, it makes sense. For Andrei Shvetsov, it's impossible not to feel a sense of pride. 28 goals now. He is he's 1 goal away from his third best ever season. Which, yeah, that is a fact. Although these 2 seasons where he got 29 and 38 were in the Championship. I feel like he's got to be eyeing up his own record of 33 goals in 38 games, which was set now 6 years ago. That is a long time, really. Will he be able to surpass that? He needs 5 goals in the last 7 of the season. I'd consider that doable, given his recent form. But anyway, let's get into this game against Bayern Munich. The rest of the team is pretty much at full strength, besides obviously the Holman, Soretta and Aurelio injuries. Aurelio not been in the best of forms. It's going to be interesting to see how Kevin Deacon gets on. You can see Andy Eric we're going with at the attacking mid position, a player who was, well, he's been in and out of the team a little bit. Obviously, over the winter period, he was away on international duty with Brazil. Chalet, who was a new signing at the time, came in and really shone. In the last couple of games, he's underwhelmed me a little bit. So we're going to go back to Andy Eric and, well, give him a chance to show us what he is made of. But a tall order here against Bayern Munich. 1-1 after the first leg. We have to score in this game. We have to score. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they score 1. It doesn't really change the complexion of the tie. But, well, we want to get off to a good start, and them hitting the woodwork after 3 minutes is a little bit concerning as far as starts to a game can go. I feel like in the first leg we rode our luck a little bit, but we weren't, completely outclassed, and, well, we'll be hoping for a similar level of performance with a bit more clinical finishing, I suppose, today. Frost, I feel like he's got a point to prove. The former Stuttgart man, bringing forward the ball. Great tackle by him. Can he finish it? Oh my word. Arndt with what an incredible save that was. Did not think he was going to pluck that out the bottom corner. Wow, he's nervous though. He's nervous. Frost, you would have backed him there, wouldn't you, to score? It was a really good effort. But yeah, the German keeper getting down low for them. Matasevic picking up a booking early scares me. A player who has somewhat of a reputation for getting sent off in big games. I feel like it's only happened once, but it still lives on in my memory as just one of his bad moments. And, well, defensively, we've been very good this year, and it's perhaps not a surprise that it's 0-0 at the break. I am tempted to make some pretty sweeping changes early on here. Now, you could argue that this is too soon to be making these kind of changes, but I don't know. I feel like it's never too soon to be really mixing up the game plan. Matasevic on a booking does scare me just a little bit. The issue I've got is I kind of want to bring in Cancina, and Andy Eric can't play on the right. So I'm actually going to make the controversial move and haul off Andy Eric. He's not had a bad game, but I want to get Cancina on in this second half. He is the kind of player who can add a real mass amount of quality. We didn't create enough in that first half. We need to go to a slightly more attacking, more offensive system. Let's see how we can fare as this game goes on. And well, already 15 minutes gone of this first half. There is going to come a point in this game where a roll of the dice is necessary. And I'll be honest, I feel like that moment is kind of coming now. Going to go a little bit more direct. Going to stay on attacking. With 20 minutes left, I've still got 2 subs in my back pocket. Shvetsov has just picked up an injury. Oh, well, let's hope that that is not serious. That is a potential groin injury. I don't feel like groin injuries are ever that serious. It could be a couple of weeks out, but that could jeopardise his chance of getting that record goal scorer mantle. Anyway, Turnbull onto the pitch now. We've got one last sub in our back pocket. Just thinking about who I might want to bring on here. I'm going to bring in Leskinen, and I'm going to bring him in for Andre, I think. Get Jarno on, get the Finnish Titan at centre mid on the pitch. We need a goal. 1 goal would be enough for us here. That is worth reiterating. I mean, the way that the game is sat now, it doesn't matter if they score. We have to score one, so we don't really have a great deal to lose by just going for them now. Let's get the ball forward quickly. Let's be more direct with it, less expressive. I want us to stick to the game plan here. And out of possession, I want you to press, I want you to harass, and I want you to cause them all kinds of issues. We have 5 minutes. It's been an awful game. We need one chance. One shouted to man more. 5 minutes of added time. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And it's kind of heartbreaking to see because there is an air of inevitability about what is going on here. Could I have committed men further forward sooner? Debatably, with 3 minutes left. I've left it late, but we have already thrown, well, caution to the wind. We are getting men up into the advanced areas and just nothing coming good for us. 3 minutes. I've got 1 click of play here. Am I content with those changes? We have to score or we're out of the Champions League. Please, boys. Time just trickling away. Maybe one last chance here, although Leskinen getting a telling off and they've got a free kick in a dangerous position. Time is all but gone. Fjordhart could add a dagger through my heart. He steps up the number 6. He hits it. He bends it. It hits the woodwork and it's headed away, but it's all a little arbitrary. We've not been good enough here. We've not been able to find a breakthrough. 3 half chances, and we couldn't take any of them. And Bayern Munich are going to navigate through on away goals. That is heartbreaking, to say the least. We really threw players forward. Defensively, we were very good. I don't think we had a chance against us until that one in the very last minute. It's not much of a consolation, though. And I know for a fact the board are not going to be happy with that at all. They are really not going to be content with going out in the first knockout round. Shvetsov is out for 1 to 3 days, so I guess it could be worse. But yeah, the board expectation this year was high. They wanted, if I'm not mistaken, they wanted the semi-final. So to fail that is a little damaging. Our title aspirations were just to challenge for the title. As already mentioned, now really that becomes the sole aim of this year. We have nothing left to play for. For the first time in a long, long while, we go into the end of the season and there's nothing on the line. We've conceded 1 goal in the last month and a half, over a month and a half now. And, well, we're going to be hoping that level of form can continue into April. We've got Manchester United next. We're going to hop forward to that. A big, big game for us. Bournemouth, in the meanwhile, should be fairly straightforward. Hopefully that's the case. And, well, hopefully we can get a goal in the next game, because that was bloody awful. Okay guys, so we are back here for the second game of today's episode, and well, the first bit of good little news really is the fact that finally Holman is back in training, and well, whilst he isn't ready to play today, it's obviously great to have him back. He's been out for a long, long time with this injury, and it's a hip injury that's kept him out for the best part of 3 months at this point. Let's hope that isn't going to turn into a recurring issue and that it's been fixed for good. And we did send him to a specialist, and his physicals haven't taken too much of a tumble, which I suppose is the silver lining if there really is one. Of course, I'm still dwelling really on the Bayern Munich game. The fact that we didn't have Soretta, the fact we didn't have Matheus Aurelio, the fact we didn't have Holman, we certainly were missing some of the most important players in, well, our team, and that dictate really the way we play. Unfortunately for us, Aurelio and Soretta both unavailable for today's game. Yeah, I mean, they're not quite there. I mean, Soretta I can maybe rush in. I think I may even put him on the bench. But the reality is that he's just not quite there just yet with his injury, and I don't really want to risk aggravating it. Despite how big this game is against Manchester United, despite the fact that, you know, it could play a huge role in the title race. If we were to lose it, if we do slip up here away from home, we do still control our own destiny with 5 games remaining of the season. And whilst there are a few tricky games here, I'm looking at that Chelsea game and I'm looking at that Everton game as potentially 2 particularly tricky ones. I don't know, I would still back us to do our thing over the remainder of the season. So anyway, since you were last here, 1 game played. It was against Bournemouth. I would normally show you the highlights, but it was a penalty, so why bother? It was Mike Frost playing. Shvetsov, of course, out with his little injury. He is back, though, today. His match fitness is not good. Well, actually, his match sharpness is good. His condition isn't. However, the goal-scoring record is on the line. I want to make sure he can continue to play. I know a lot is made of our wing-backs and their average rating. I feel like at this point it's very important to point out the fact that, well, Morrigan is currently 2 clean sheets away from the Premier League record. The Premier League record for clean sheets in a season is 24. There is 6 games left of the year. He needs 3 to beat the record, 2 to tie it. And whilst it is a testament, of course, to Morrigan, I do feel like it's a testament to the rest of our defence as well. I know that I've seen the comments, I've seen the criticism for players like Vincent, for players like Matheus Aurelio as well. One thing that I think is really important to remember is whilst these players might not be getting assists and they might not be getting the best average ratings, they are doing a lot defensively. I think a lot of people underestimate the effect that the role that players playing a team has on average ratings. I'm sure you've experienced it yourself. Deep line playmakers get really good average ratings in the current Football Manager match engine. Similarly, wing-backs, even when they are doing well, do struggle a little bit. And even then, I guess Aurelio's 7.1 rating across 31 matches is actually pretty good for a player with only 3 assists. So anyway, in terms of team news for today's game, perhaps the big shock is the fact that I've elected to go with McAsey at the back. I have really been liking what Roger McAsey brings. I feel like his passing from deep has been something that has caught me off guard a little bit. He's been very, very good when we've played him. And as a result, I'm going to give him the nod today and we're going to see what he can do. He's going to be playing alongside Markowski. It's going to be Vincent, Kaiser and Kevin Deacon playing against his former club in Manchester United in at right back. In the centre of midfield, it's going to be Andre and Leskinen for today's game. Cholet is going to play up front, a player who has been pretty tidy, to be honest, in the Premier League. I feel like centre attacking mids always struggle a little bit when it comes to average ratings. Kind of excited to see what he can do here. And while up top, it is going to be the Shvetsov and Frost show. I have been alternating which way round I play these guys. I feel like the best performances for Shvetsov have come as a complete forward, so that's where we're going to stick him today. And well, on the bench we've got Soretta, Nico, Holman, Matasevic, Andy Eric, Cancina and Turnbull. So lots of game changers there. And whilst we are away from home against Manchester United here, I want to go for them from the off. This is first v second. This is the game that could heavily influence the title race. And whilst there are a few players in our ranks who are a little bit tired, ultimately we've got to risk it for a chocolate biscuit today. We've got to play them, and whilst injuries played a role this year, we are slowly but surely starting to, well, find our team again that we kind of lost once upon a time. So anyway, the players warming up, I would say, in terms of players to keep an eye on today, the obvious one is Shvetsov. I think Leskinen as well. Playing at Mazzala alongside Andre is going to be an interesting one. That was a selection that, well, I was tempted to put Matasevic in, but Matasevic has slowed down a little bit this season. So Leskinen's coming, and I guess the other one, well, of a two players really to look at, the right centre-back and right-back. With Soretta and Mateus Aurelio out, it's down to McCassie and Kevin Deacon to show us what they're made of, and I want to believe that Kevin Deacon is going to have a fire in his belly that's been ignited, and he's going to want to do well here against United. But anyway, this is just taking forever to load, so let's just skip forward to when we're in the game. We're going to be taking on Manchester United, and well, hopefully, Football Manager speeds up a little. Okay, so here we are. We've finally loaded in, just having a quick look at United's team. In terms of their star player, without a doubt, it is this guy, Kevin Wolf, or Keith Wolf even. I think Kevin Wolf is actually a regen at our club. This guy's absolutely insane. I would argue that he's probably the best kind of centre-back you're going to see in Football Manager. I know someone's going to say that he has the trait gets forward, he has 12 jumping reach. I mean, just ignore all that for a second and look at everything else on show here. If I had another 300 million to spend, I think I might know who in world football I might want to sign. Yeah, Wolf is very, very good. Elsewhere in the team, Alvin John, their star goalkeeper, England international, a player we're very, very familiar with, exceptionally good at 26 years old. Up top, they're going to go with Torreira, who is a Spanish forward they picked up a few years ago now from Lyon, a player who has faded in and out of the first team, doesn't like big matches. Perhaps that can play into our favour today. But anyway, let's get into this. Our team is the team that you can see there. It's a team that is not too surprising, I don't think. I kind of feel like at this point we don't really have an established best 11. With all the injuries we've had, with all the rotation we've had, I don't think there's been too many games when we've been able to play the same starting 11, you know, a sustained period of time. There has just been so much rotation going on. And, well, with the absence of Soretta, Mateus Aurelio and Holman, this isn't going to be easy today. But I need a better performance than what we saw against Bayern Munich, because simply put, it was not acceptable. It was not good enough. Boys, can we bounce back? Looking for those clean sheets, as I said, Morgan on for a record. He also got capped for Spain for the first time ever very recently, Morgan, which is long overdue. To be 28 years old, to be leading the clean sheet charts in the Premier League and to only just get an international cap is criminal. And it's a bit of a middle finger, I feel like, to all the Morgan haters out there. Yeah, he's doing his thing, he's proving his worth, and I mean, if he keeps the Premier League record for clean sheets, I don't know how anyone can ever suggest it's worth replacing him, in all honesty. But anyway, Manchester United in possession here. This has been a very long highlight to start the game, which makes you feel like it's going to result in something, and while Sekiere is here, bring the ball forward and gives it to Torreira, who I insinuated might not be up for the big game. I suggested he might not be ready for this. I tell you what, he's just given me a big middle finger, hasn't he, really? They work the ball around nicely here, United. Switch the play, but I don't know. We're just caught very, very narrow defensively. I wonder if we'd be better out of possession, just going to standard width rather than narrow to maybe help with that a little. Morgan, I mean, you can't really blame him there, can you? They've had a shot inside the 6-yard box, which is never exactly ideal to try and deal with. Let's get shouty, boys. We need a response here. I need a response from you. What can you do for me? Let's see as we go into this. 20 minutes gone. I mean, the good news is the ship has been steadied. The bad news is we have not had a shot on goal yet in this game. Needing a response. Let's get refocused. They're overwhelmed by their feedback. We're focused. Come on, boys. Goal before half-time would be lovely. Apparently Vincent's been making a lot of mistakes. Let's hope he can cut those out of his game. And, well, it looks like half-time it's going to be 1-0. Not exactly a classic. And you know what? I am very tempted to make an early change here. I feel like we didn't make changes soon enough against Bayern Munich. And I feel like in this game, it's time for action. And, well, that action is going to be a shuffle around of the team. Cancina is going to come in. Schwale, unfortunately, can't play out on the right-hand side, so I think he is going to have to make way here. I've got to keep just a little eye on fitness, but no, I think this is the correct moves to do. And you know what? I'm going to put Dylan... No, I'm not pulling Dylan Turnbull on the wing. I'm not. We're going to bring in Matasevic out on the right-hand side. Dylan Turnbull ready and raring to go as the impact sub, perhaps as the second half goes on. But Matasevic and Cancina, come on down. Show us what you're made of, please, boys. We need a response. And, well, we are going to be gambling, committing more men forward in the attack here, but it feels entirely necessary at this point. We have not shown enough going forward. We've not even created a chance in this game. Ball headed away. Andy Eric lumps it forward. Frost is going to be chasing. Can he get there? He can. Can he finish it? I mean, I ask it like it's a question that needs to be answered. He's given us the answer. It's the correct answer. Michael Frost, you have just won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Or Who Wants to Score 23 goals in a season? I feel like Andre deserves some credit for that ball, but I do feel like it was just a lumped ball clear. Either way, he breaks away, Sakamoto cannot keep up, and Mike Frost tucks it into that bottom corner. I don't know what his celebration is. It looked like he was, I don't know, it looked like he was cleaning his yo-yo string or something. I don't know, do you clean yo-yo string? I feel like you just replace it. I've never had a yo-yo. Now I feel like I should go and get one. Anyway, let's get your head in the game, Jack. There's an hour gone in this game. Plenty of time left, and well, we need to get into defensive action here because Manchester United have had slightly more of the ball and created slightly more chances. And, well, don't foul. Don't foul. Don't do anything stupid. I mean, do put in a tackle, though. David Mahon, 16th goal for him. Playing out on right mid and scoring there. That's a little bit annoying, isn't it? Let's make some changes here. Let's make some changes here. You might be wondering, Jack, what are those changes going to be? Cancina, get on attack. Matasevic, get on attack. We are going to get rid of this shorter passing. I want us to be higher tempo, more direct. Let's get the ball forward and let's see what we can do with it. I want it distributed to the flanks, and we are going to start to counter-press now. We need to pressure United. Away from home, going to Old Trafford. It's never easy in any Football Manager. I don't think it's been easy in Football Manager ever. However, if we want to be title winners, this is a game where even a draw would be enough, really. A draw would maintain the gap of 4 points and make me feel good. And well, Shvetsov hits the woodwork. My word, what an opportunity for him. Near post volley, cannons off the outside of the post, goes away to safety, and United live to fight another day. Need to get shouty. Probably need to go very attacking here. Got that one last sub in our locker. I kind of want to keep Shvetsov on, I'm going to be honest. But I don't really want to take Frost off. You know what, Andy Eric on for Andre, who's tired and, well, potentially in risk of being sent off here. Morgan getting the ball forward. Matasevic nods it down to Deacon. I don't mind building from the back, but let's just see how this works in terms of playing more direct with our faster tempo. That's what I want to see. Big ball over the top. Andre could be about to come off. Can he finish it? Right, cancel the change. He's staying on the pitch. Andre, I don't know why I ever doubted you, pal. Maybe I should just threaten to sub him off again and then he'll score another. It's 2-2 here. There is part of me that wants to go and play more conservative now we found our way back into this game. There's another part of me that thinks, stay on very attacking, Jack. Go for the killer blow. Stay on the attack. And you know what? I fancy a risk. I fancy a risk. A draw to keep the gap to 4 points is fine. A win to increase it to 7 would be season-changing. Demand more, boys. One last push. 3 minutes left of added time. Could it happen? Manchester United created more shots in general, but fewer clear-cut chances. Morgan with the ball here. Lumps it forward. Given away. Wolf wins it. And while they could be bringing it forward here, we could be in danger. Navas hits it, and Morgan with the stop. And he parries it away from danger as well, out for a corner. It could have very easily fallen into the path of their attackers, and that header is going to go over the crossbar as well. I should probably witness that and judge that to be a warning shot to go more defensive, but I'm not. We're going to stay on the attack. It's not going to make a difference in the end. It's a draw, more goals than I would normally like to concede, but Morgan, 6 saves to his name, had a very solid game. And, well, I don't know how to feel about that. I guess a draw at the end of the day away from home against Manchester United is a great result, to be honest. They have only lost 5 all year. They are a tricky team. You can see they've not lost at home all season. In fact, prior to this game, they'd only slipped up once at home, and that was a draw against Everton. A win here now keeps the gap to 4, which is a great situation to find ourselves in going into the final 5 games of the season. And while that is going to be the only thing that we're fighting for, as for Manchester United, if we just take a quick peek at them and their schedule, they're still in the Europa League and they're playing Sociedad. You would expect them to go through that. So, yeah, fixture congestion could certainly become a factor for them in the coming weeks. But anyway, that's going to wrap up everything from us today. A little bit of disappointment with the Champions League result, but a little good fight back against the Premier League giants, Manchester United. Twice we came back from behind to salvage a point. In terms of looking forward, we have got this Chelsea game. They're in 4th, and we have also got Everton in 6th. I think the best thing to do, to be honest, is just going to be to play it by ear, see how things are lining up. If we're starting to cruise away with the title, we won't worry about these games. On the flip side, you know, with a couple of games left, if it's still very much in the balance, I imagine tomorrow's episode, which will be the end of season live com, will be a spicy affair with a few live matches. But it's a little too early to tell, isn't it, right now? Anyway, hopefully next time I see you, I'm already going to be champions and I'm going to be relaxed. On the flip side, I'm sure from an entertainment perspective, it would be much better to see me having a freak out and a breakdown on the final day of the season. I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen right now, but we have slipped up a few more times than I would like against some of the bigger teams. But anyway, folks, tune in next time, see if we can beat the Champions League, no, the Premier League clean sheet record. That is the aim, and, well, hopefully I will see you guys then. Thank you for your support as always. I'm sorry we couldn't bring home a Champions League trophy again this year. Disappointing result, but I think there's lots of positives to take at the same time. I mean, ultimately, we didn't lose in the competition. Yeah, stupid away goals. I'm going to blame it on away goals. Why not? Anyway, that's all from me today. Take care, folks. I'll see you next time. I'm out.